This is a Grand Archive card, and this is a Grand Archive card about to blow up.
But before we do that, let's explain how we got here. Weave to the Shore, the creators of Grand Archive, reached out to us to make a video on the quality of TCG cards.
Now, I could sit here and explain every single small detail that goes into making a single card and do a bunch of research on that too, but I think it'd just be better to run some tests instead. And in order to do that, we need bulk, and a decent amount of it. So we got One Piece, we got Magic, we got Pokemon, we got Yu-Gi-Oh, and of course Grand Archive bulk. But in order to run some accurate tests, let's take a look at what makes up a trading card.
Trading cards are actually made up of multiple layers. It isn't as simple as printing some art onto a piece of paper. If it was, everyone's games would look like this.
Swing 2 with Lurking Assailant.
Most cards actually have at least 3 layers of paper with special inks or coatings to allow the art to last longer. Which leads us perfectly into our first test.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a
Sandpaper test. Each card's gonna be sanded for 5 whole seconds and then given a grade 1st through 5th based on how well it did. Now, this test may be a little subjective, but we're just trying to see how good and how well the art was held up to some extreme abrasion. But of course, safety first. All right, this is gonna get loud. Terry's gonna do the sanding for 5 seconds. Kaven is on timer, and each one's gonna get 5 seconds of sanding. And he's not gonna apply pressure to it, he's just gonna set it on it and do it for 5 seconds. So Kaven, give the countdown.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Stop.
All right, I'm gonna try to brush away some of this debris.
I remember when I was a kid, my Yu-Gi-Oh cards always just got destroyed, I feel like faster than everything else when I played it, so I thought that might be a little worse. But my scores, from worst to best, One Piece has 5.
All right.
Yu-Gi-Oh as 4. Pokemon is 3. Magic 2, and honestly, the Grand Archive card took the least amount of damage.
So Yu-Gi-Oh gets a big fat old 5 there. Magic's definitely 4th. Sorry, One Piece is definitely 4th. What is going on here? Why is it so like?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the paper is like
damaged.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm gonna give Pokemon 3rd, Magic 2nd, and then GA's. It's wild how little it damaged it actually.
That's my exact score as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is funny because we're not trying to be.
Oh, look at GA. Yeah.
You know, now that you guys touched that and there's actually through it, I'm changing mine.
Yeah.
50 Yu-Gi-Oh 4th is one.
All right, cool. So I think we're all on line here. So cool.
With that test finished, we end with Grand Archive in 1st, Magic the Gathering in 2nd, Pokemon in 3rd, One Piece in 4th, and Yu-Gi-Oh in 5th place. So let's move on to the next test, the puncture test.
So for this test, we're basically gonna have a nail on a piece of wood, and all we're gonna do is try to position the card in the center of the nail as best as we can and try to keep this as straight as possible. And then we're gonna measure how many grams it takes to puncture, like the highest amount that this hits. And then we're gonna take the average of all 3 cards being punctured. So we have each card from each game will be punctured 3 times, and then we'll take the average of those scores, and that will give us a definitive 1st through 5th place.
My 5, looking at what we did, would probably be, a lot of them are very close. But Yu-Gi-Oh easily is gonna be 5. And after that, it's probably One Piece.
What's your best guess, 1st and last?
First and last? Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh last, easily. First, Pokemon or GA, one of those two. Yeah, I guess I'll put my one on Pokemon.
All right.
After adding up all the puncture weights for each card and then taking the average, we end up with Grand Archive at 2,614, Magic at 2,097, One Piece at 2,937, Pokemon at 2,408, and Yu-Gi-Oh at 1,357. Here's a look at the current standings after taking the last tests into account. Now let's move on to some temperature tests.
Leading us to the frozen test. So we live in Michigan. It gets nice and cold here at certain times of the year. So to simulate accidentally leaving your cards on the car, Terry, put those in the freezer. We'll leave them in there for 24 hours. For us, it'll be over 24 hours. For you guys, it should be like this. So let's see how they do it.
And we're in the same clothes.
Yeah. So for all transparency, I already put them in there from yesterday, but we're just gonna check them out. Nothing changed actually. Let's just take them out. So we're looking at the cards. We're mainly looking for any kind of curling or any kind of damage that might have occurred from obviously putting in the freezer for over 24 hours. But I don't really see anything. Do you, Terry?
No. Like,
That's Yu-Gi-Oh. This is of course GA.
it's just a lot of, like, they're just a little, they got a little bit of moisture, so they didn't really do too much.
Oh yeah, the bend test? True. Caven came over here and just started bending them. They all seem fine.
They all feel pretty good.
Did Yu-Gi-Oh's feel good?
Yeah, YuGiOh bend. Yeah, Magic feels pretty okay. Oh, let's try GA again. GA feels fine. Ooh, wow.
I know.
Yeah.
One Piece definitely has a.
All right, so this is the best. Honestly, I'd say all the other ones are tied, except for YuGiOh is the second best. Somehow, YuGiOh is
You second best? Or?
actually the second best, yeah.
With Yu-Gi-Oh finally not ending in last place for our test, here's the current standings for the cards. We currently have a two-way tie in between Grand Archive and One Piece. Let's see if the next test changes any of that.
All right, we did the Frozen test. Little, lackluster, but next, I'm hoping this test will do better. This is going to be the heat test. So, for our southern friends, we live in Michigan, but our southern friends, card temperatures can get pretty darn hot. They can actually exceed 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're gonna put these suckers in the oven for 200 degrees and then see how they fare. We'll probably do it for about, maybe an hour. And then hopefully they get some decent damage on them and we can tell which one did the best. I don't know if you can tell, my oven's a little musical. Definitely 200 degrees, so we're gonna leave those in there for an hour, and we'll see how that goes.
So my audio actually stopped working here, but basically some cards actually did end up curling forward and some cards end up curling backwards. The worst one of them all was the Grand Archive card because it actually curled from both corners inwards, and by far it was Yu-Gi-Oh in first and Grand Archive in last. After taking the last test into account, here are the current standings. Let's now move on to the humidity test.
All right, so this is gonna simulate high humidity. So we're gonna do like about a cup of water in an Instapot. High humidity and high heat, for our tropical climate friends. I'll try to make it so they don't overlap too much. And hopefully, give us a decent rating or score, however I wanna put it. All right, how about 10 minutes? Because I don't wanna keep pressing this any more than I have to. And pressure level, we'll do high pressure. It should be good to go. Okay, so just got done beeping, so I'm gonna release the pressure in this thing and then take them out and see how they go. So we left it in there for 10 minutes on high pressure. Ooh, okay. So I don't know if you guys can see that, not really. But some of them curled upwards and some of them are definitely floppy. So let me move the camera and then I'll give you a better shot of this. As you can see here, wow, okay. So this is crazy. The One Piece card is actually like perfectly fine. Like it's a little weird, it's a little warped, and you can see like it has like a little bit of a pop to it, but it's like definitely fine. I legitimately think you could play with this card. So that's probably gonna be first. Every other card looks definitely a little more warped than that. So let me see. I put this just before the Yu-Gi-Oh card actually. So in order, I'd go One Piece, and then Magic, then GA, then Yu-Gi-Oh, then Pokemon. Right in that order.
With One Piece taking another first place, that puts it in the lead by 3 points. Now let's check out the water test. Are you tired of not being able to wash your dishes with your TCG playing cards? Or not being able to play test in the bathtub with your friends?
Swing 2 with Lurking. All right, so we're gonna take some cards and we're gonna leave them here in the bathtub for like 10 minutes and then take them out and see which one's the floppiest, I guess. We'll check back with you in a second. Here's all the cards we're putting in. I'm just gonna literally just dunk them in into the water. They kind of float. This is weird. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes and we're gonna pull the cards out and just see how they look. They kind of started to float to the top. Nothing to do about that. But yeah, check these guys out. So we got the cards out. You guys can see them pretty, there you go, pretty wet. I think, Caven, I don't know if you see this, the One Piece card
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
literally started to split. So I don't think any of the other cards actually did that. Let me see here.
We'll give it a tie because they're very different.
First place here, GA and Magic, and third, fourth, fifth.
After that test, Grand Archive and Magic the Gathering are now tied for first place. Now let's move on to the fireproof test. For this test, we marked a line 1.5 inches up on the card. Then we lit the bottom right hand corner on fire and measured how long it took for the flames to start to scorch up to that middle line. As you can see here, some cards burned really well and other cards almost refused to burn, such as the Grand Archive and Pokemon cards. This test is probably a little inconclusive, but honestly, it was more fun just to light some cards on fire more than anything else. Also, I had to light some cards multiple times on fire to actually try to get it to burn up to that line. I don't really have anything else to talk about for this part, so please enjoy the rest of Dance of the Hours by Emil Kerry Ponchielli, which I'm probably butchering. After our second to last test here, we do see Grand Archive in a 2-point lead. Let's see if this last test changes that.
Finally, the explosion resistance test. We just wanted to blow them up, so let's do that. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of these little firecrackers, we're gonna place it underneath the card here, and then we'll blow it up. All right, let's take a look at the damage. All right, so here's the damage, literally damage of the cards. First, let's talk about Magic real quick here. You know, I think this one might be the last place.
Get wrecked.
So Magic not looking too hot. Definitely took the brunt of the force on most of that. And you know, while this isn't a completely objective, you know, test. Well, I think that one objectively lost. And then we got the other ones. The other ones are much closer. I think YuGiOh. It has like that crease in it there.
Yeah.
See that. But I think that one might be the next worst there. And then we have, after that, it's close, man. I'm gonna say there's like a bulge on the One Piece one. Let's see if I can show it. There, you can see it kind of like in the light there. And a crease on there. So I'm gonna say we'll say that one's third. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
All right, and then we're up to GA and Pokemon. Gabe, what are your thoughts on these?
Honestly, they look pretty similar. There is a crease on each one of them that looks about the same size. Pokemon's has a little bit more like dust on it from the explosion. I don't think that's actual damage, so I'd say it's pretty close to a tie.
All right, we got 2 first places right here.
And there you go. Grand Archive is actually our first place winner here. Honestly, not what we were trying to go for here, but it also is kind of funny that we have a 3-way tie for second place between Magic, Pokemon, and One Piece. Unfortunately, YuGiOh never really stood a chance throughout the testing.
If you like this video, check out some of our other ones. Whew. Well, that's a wrap. That was awesome.